We're back to Mordona. We're going back to Mordona. That's nostalgic almost. So no, ever since we've been based out of Mordona too, because it's like, we used to. Oh, that's new. Those are new. Apparently, we have wings now. So, yeah, I have not heard anything about the story at all. So I'm going into this completely blind. You guys are gonna see my actual reactions. It is really cool to see Graha standing here. That's really neat. It's also really cool that we do have access to this new area, because that was kind of like the area they showed like everyone resting in. They've obviously cleaned it up. There's not
we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I've a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission.
Also, I have a question, right?
Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
That is true. Thancred can't go slinking around anymore by himself.
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello, Lise.
Lise?
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
I mean, I make no promises. I do have the whole
That's
echo
right.
thing going on.
We're fighting fit and raring to go.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
Grahatia's over here just like nerding out about history when it's not even history yet.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Yeah, Lisa's field of expertise is punching things.
Grahatia, at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
I was gonna say, did we explain to Lise that Graha is kind of from the
Not be so
future?
sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Oh my god, Graha is so cute.
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it.
I love it. Why did Alphino get all angry there? Like, he was like, you didn't understand it? Come on, it's simple stuff, Lise.
Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
That's the
Sure
hope.
of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak, and it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
Just kind of probably having some personal doubts about how I've been Heidelin's champion this whole time.
The pleasure of your visit.
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble.
Ah, Garlemald.
The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Every time Garlemald has an emperor die.
Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald, and we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Ah, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you used to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I love that Lisa is just like, yeah, no, now you're not allowed to come. you better be working on that instead.
You might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting.
Do I look like the kind of person who'd rather attend a stuffy meeting? What meeting? Lead on. Also, I like stuffy meetings.
I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too.
Welcome, Crystal. Welcome to chat.
That is.
Welcome to stream. Aw, yeah. Graha's like, yes, we finally get to go on an adventure together.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
I'm gonna be leaving this on lurk, and we'll check the VOD later. I haven't actually done it myself yet. Yeah, no. If you haven't played through the story, do not watch the stream. Like, I like support. I like the support. I appreciate watching the stream, but I don't want this to be spoilers for anyone, because this is gonna be spoilery time. Alright, here we go. I completely didn't catch that last part of the conversation. I just stole a teasing Graha. When I set out to save Halrek, I think Gabu was always at the back of my mind. And having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I'm convinced that the same must be true of the Tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the aether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. And though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. I'm actually going to disable auto advance. I keep auto advance on for when I'm recording. Like, if you ever notice in my videos, I have auto advance on so I don't have to keep clicking, and so that, like, I let the timing of the video be standard across, like, the text. In case anyone wants to read the text, it's like, well, this is the pace the game sets for you. by default, so. It is by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, Alizé, and it warrants full investigation. If there's even a chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limsa and set to work, there's no room for recklessness, not when a child's life is at stake. As I'm sure Beck Lug would remind us, we still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of the many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what of their ancient counterparts? I know the Alligans took a more than passing interest in the subject. And what if if what we seek is to be found anywhere, it would surely be at the Aetherochemical Research Facility. Where they experimented on primals and their worshippers, yes? Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports. I did read. I can read. But I did read the reports on Az's Law, which means we'll be needing an airship. An airship, you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Lake Silvertear. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. I do think it's really neat that Graha's still able to impart his because the reason why we took way back in the Crystal Tower raids, right? The reason why we took Graha in the first place was because he was an expert on Allagan history, right? We're like, oh yeah, he's an archaeologist who has expertise in Allagan history, and that's why we took him. That's why we brought him. And I think it's really cool that we're still seeing some of that happen. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way that airship flies. Tataru has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Az's Law, and Alpha Node's report did not do the scale of this place justice. Oh yeah, this place is huge. Would not recommend farming fates here. It's a pain just getting... No, I don't... Why would I want to click on the minion? Grahatia's right there. Game. Grahatia surveys his surroundings with an expectant glint in his eye. This appears to be Helix, which means we're standing in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and... Yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Az's Law, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this path leads to an Aetherite, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we begin our search there. Look at Graha being like, hey, I know this place. I've been here before. I've seen the reports. Iconic corruption, an overview. That sounds promising. Indeed, let us see what this report has to say. Yeah, fun fact, the word icon actually came from the Alligans. Like, we often attribute it to what the Garleans call them, but no, that was from the Alligans. The Alligans started calling them icons, and then the Garleans just kind of adopted that. Confound it, the contents appear to have been deleted. What? No, isn't there something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid. But it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look. It says here that the report was written by someone named Owen. It's likely that he kept a copy? I would say that it is a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters on the Habisphere. We can ascertain the details of the at Habisphere Control. Let's return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. I forgot, you already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship then. We'll see you at the Hemisphere. I hope it's not like underground, because that's when it looks like it is. It's not here. It's gonna be down somewhere. Oh, no, maybe it's just over here. Or where is it? Some of these stupid islands have caves on them. Yeah, it's in a cave, isn't it? Well, here we go. Hopefully I can get to that. Can I even get to that cave? It doesn't. Maybe it looks like it. It looks like it on the map. All the way up to where? Oh, there's another cave. There's another I hate these. I hate these so much. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna assume it's where everyone's, like, collecting. I can't see the... Okay, there we go. I'm pretty sure, like, everyone else killed my things. Oh well. That's how it works. Bravo, that was quite the show adventure, where the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. Graha, are you seriously doing this again? I think it's really adorable that he's doing the same thing he did. This is exactly what he did when he first met us. And now he's doing it again. This is so... I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours. This is exactly what he did. What, no dramatic entrance? You've changed. That's exactly what he did before. Ugh, you remember that? Yes, I remember that. In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It isn't every day you meet an honest-to-God's hero, after all. Well, the contest continues, so you'd better hurry back. Ah, but one last thing. Thank you, Mootski, for bringing me here. He's so lame, but he's so... That's so great. I love it. I love Graha. Graha's such a good character. What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? A map and a quest marker. That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could both learn a great deal from Mootski. And not only about the secrets of adventuring. But come, we should attend our mission. I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but Icon Corruption, an overview, sounds like a studium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of Aether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alphino's was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that the Charlian's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced of his views and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean, the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he sincerely learned to be a little more open-minded. But deep down, he still holds fast to that one belief, and I admire him for it. I should have liked to meet the young Alphino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the elegant civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studio. Alize? I'm sorry. Look at his neck. Have you... Look. Charlian Sage tattoos. He obviously learned in Charlian, like, what... Okay, Alize. I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the Students of Bethesian convinced me to write one, with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Oh, apparently he didn't. Apparently he didn't actually attend the studium, but he did write one to get his Archon tattoos, which is like, duh. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time. I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Also, I wonder, that's weird, right? Because, like, they're calling it the Archon's thesis, but, like, the Archons, as we know them, the Archons were members of the Circle of Knowing before they became part of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. So, is the Archon just a general title? Like, are the Charlian Sage tattoos just Archon tattoos, and that's why they're called Archon tattoos? Because I was under the impression, like, having dug through the lore before, I was under the impression that the term Archon tattoo and the term was a misnomer because it was attributed to the 12 Archons, the members of the Circle of Knowing. It was attributed to them specifically, and not like, because that, I was under the impression that was just a term used to describe people from the Circle of Knowing. Like, they were called the Archons. But if Archon is just a general term for scholar, then, man, things are weird. And then what does that have to do with... There's a lot of weird... Okay, that's weird. That's interesting. I need to look into this. Maybe the lore has changed. Maybe the lore has changed, too, because, like, no one played 1.0. That's not true, but you know what I mean. It's like, they're not expecting... We don't know how connected 1.0 is to this story, so it's like... Maybe the whole thing, because the Archons were an individual group, not just anyone from Charlian who had, like, scholarly potential. But if that's what that word means now, then there's a lot of things that have changed. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Initializing. Scanning for registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Verifying. Authentication complete. Guest identified as a member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, your highness. It never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doge Inune said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such a time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. Searching. One item found. Icon corruption. An overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. Are you... It's like trying to get into this. It's like trying to get into like an account, like an old email account that you've like had locked for like that you've forgotten the password for. Well, go on then, your highness. Tell the nice node the password. Alize, don't be sassy. Graha's just trying his best. Come on. Right. Let's see. Glory be to Alag. Long live Emperor Zante. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Maybe the password is password. Come now, passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance... I swear to God. I swear to God if this works. No. Absolutely not. The notion that the password could be something so inane would be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct of the President of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. No, no. Oh, no. Alice is gonna go to town on that orb now. What did that thing just call me? Well, this is gonna get messy. Password incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I would say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it's them. Fair enough. Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the aether of the soul. Said aether originally exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the aether of an icon, this changes, the soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposed to the aether of the fiend, Sephiroth, would cause a subject's aether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to the elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged, or stagnant during the process. This stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. You know what? I wonder, this whole, freeing the soul from a primal's influence, I wonder if this is going to have any bearing on the fact that, because there's been theories of this, a long time, that the Warrior of Light is, tempered by Hydaelyn. I wonder if this whole, cure to find a cure for tempering thing will come into play, later on. Ever since they revealed that Hydaelyn was a primal, my prediction has always kind of been, I don't know if it seems like they're going more and more in this direction, too. I don't know if they're gonna, but they might potentially, make it so that Hydaelyn's not such a great, benevolent being either, right? And that we might need to, free ourselves from Hydaelyn's influence at some point. Because, the Echo's supposed to protect from that, but we don't know how Hydaelyn's heightened power works. Because, the Ascians had the full version, the, ancient version of the Echo, and, Elidibus and Emmett were both considered tempered by Zodiark. That's kind of what they were called. They were called tempered by Zodiark. So I wonder if that's going to have a bearing on the story moving forward. Like, oh, all of this is going to change, like, not just the world and the fact that we can now cure tempered people, but also that the Warrior of Light themselves turns out to be tempered, and now we have a cure for that, so we can go ahead and, like, I don't know, fight Hydaelyn. I don't know what they're gonna do. I feel like they're gonna go with that because, like, first of all, Venat is a villain, and Venat's a villain, and from Final Fantasy XII, I believe, and Venat's the heart of Hydaelyn, right? So if the heart of Hydaelyn is named after a villain, that doesn't really bode well for whether or not Zodiark is not Zodiark. Hydaelyn is a truly good person. Although it could just be like just them using lore. Also, there was that whole thing where we fought Shiva, but we fought Reen's Shiva, and part of that was like she was light aspected too, and she wasn't very nice. In fact, I didn't clear that fight last year. God damn it. Anyways, so yeah, that was a fun time. But I don't know. I feel like they are kind of going in the direction of light is not good, and we might wind up, you know, Hydaelyn might not always be our ally, and this might be a way around that. If in fact it turns out the Warrior of Light is tempered by Hydaelyn, which, to be fair, we don't know if that's the case. So this is all just speculation. I'm just saying, I wonder if that's where this is going. Why we're suddenly focusing a whole lot, because they mentioned Hydaelyn and Zodiark being primals at the beginning of this. Pardon me. And now they're mentioning a whole lot about all this stuff with the we're going on this whole adventure to cure tempering. So who knows? Having discerned the mechanism of iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at a great cost. In the course of testing, many of the assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. God damn it, Amon, why you always gotta mess things up? Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence I have been stripped of rank and title, and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Archives. Nonetheless, I recorded and hope that one day someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. So there's no point in reviving their souls unless we can also restore their sense of self. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation, that is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Through thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the enticements of false faith which has come to dominate the individual's thoughts. I'm sorry I'm having trouble reading this, I don't know why. I see, the theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us to identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, you are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. then perhaps it is better we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have the reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to stimulate magics, which leads me to believe that they may be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different from how we identified the password. But it'll take more calculating power. A lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait. A password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology or some such. You two, round up as many Magitech terminals that you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Things are about to get very busy. Luckily, we have you to help, eh? Let's see. Are they going to make me do a bunch of errands? They're probably going to make me do a bunch of errands. Alright, errand time. Let's go, Sid. Have a feeling Jess won't be happy that Sid's just like, yeah, we promised to pay you for the ceruleum, even if the price is increased. We don't care. Oh, man. It's been a while since we've seen Sir Emmerich.
My friend, after the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem.
Yep, and so are we. We're trying to fix the whole tempered people are kind of useless after they get tempered thing.
To that end, have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course.
I was really hoping he would get a voice actor.
Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find.
I mean, I could go almost die again.
A visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you?
Of course. Like I said, I could always just, like, go almost lose to an Asian again. I mean, I'm sure someone will show up. That's kind of how this works.
What business brings you to our fair city this day?
Oh, I was just, getting a bunch of ceruleum.
A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed. Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it.
Emmerich sounds different. Like, I mean, I don't think they changed his voice actor. I just think his inflections are a little bit...
In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
There we go. That's a little more like Emmerich, I know. And, like, I don't know. It's like the voice actor is adding a little bit more gruffness to his voice than usual. Oh, those sneaky bastards. This is the scene. They showed off this scene in the trailer and they were like, yeah, we'll make you think that, like, you guys are doing stuff for the Empire and, like, foiling plans and something. And no, this is the scene. This is what it is. Those clever bastards. They showed it right, like, after the showing off the emerald weapon too. That's what it was. It was like everyone was like, "Oh man."
thought ceruleum weighed so much.
Well, I mean, it is a fuel.
Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at
I suppose it helps to have friends in high places.
it. And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
Here we go.
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering. But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise.
Those sneaky bastards too. That line. Are you kidding me? They made that line seem way more ominous in the trailer. Those I see you, SE. I see you.
For all the effort it took to track you down after your latest disappearing act, you could find the cure for death, and it wouldn't be worth the trouble.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel, not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 paths to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
I love it. I love how snarky Nero still is, despite like him. I don't know, like.
Well then, I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
I love these two's banter. Is great.
Whatever you say, Garland.
By the way, the healing applications of crystal foci proved very useful in getting us to where we are now. I must remember to thank Mikoto.
Oh shit! You know that whole thing's still going on. Are we gonna acknowledge that? Nope. Guess not. Okay.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin.
We're just not gonna acknowledge that that whole thing is happening in Vazja right now.
All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while.
Oh, I would love to, but I'm sure the game's gonna make me go on another quest. Or do something else. Something else is gonna happen that they need me for. They're gonna be like, hey, Warrior of Light, we need you to screw in this light bulb, like, all the way over here. Gonna have to run halfway across the Orzia and pick up the light bulb from somewhere. Pick up the light bulb from Doma. Oh.
Damn it. It's overloading.
Chief! She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close. So very close.
Graha, if this warehouse explodes because you...
Oh.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you.
And just save your progress.
There. I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
Also, why did everything explode? Like, they were just doing a bunch of calculations, right? Like...
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at.
I'm sure Nera's gotta come over here and, like, argue that point and also fix the machine, because, like, he's... I mean, Sid, you should also know a lot about Ceruleum, too.
My friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
Also, I don't know if it... Like, Sid's voice sounds weird to me, and I don't know if that's because... I'm trying to remember, like, if he's ever been voice acted after the end of A Realm Reborn, where they changed all the voice actors. Because, like... He's played parts in the MSQ beyond that, but a lot of his roles have been for the raids, and the raids don't usually get voice acted. So I'm wondering if we've heard his voice before. Oh.
Apologies for the wait.
Gabu, have you been good?
Still no change, I'm afraid. He just stands there in silence until we move him.
It's all right now. We're going to help you get better.
Fancy meeting you here.
Hey, it's Alphino and Y'shtola.
I thought you were attending to primal matters.
We were, and came here for a meeting on the subject. Certain pirate factions did not deign to attend, however, and it was cancelled.
We had resigned ourselves to having wasted a journey when we chanced to espy you. Could it be that there has been progress with the treatment?
Well, we're gonna test that out. We're gonna find that out. Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't. Maybe this is gonna go horribly wrong. I'm still a little...
Magitech terminals to formulate the solution. I would never have contemplated such an approach.
So this new magic, adapted from memory transference, would be used to purge the subject of their fanatical faith, while Angelo would be responsible for reanimating the ether of their soul. Yet I wonder at the practicalities. If one were to reanimate the soul first, it would only serve to exacerbate the tempering. Conversely, a stagnant soul would not respond to the effects of the magic. Would both need to be performed simultaneously?
Nothing escapes Master Matoya's inquiring eye. As you say, both must be carried out simultaneously. And thus, I propose to imbue Angelo with the tempering treatment in much the same manner as I did the spirit vessels.
By doing so, we also spare Graha the trouble of casting spell after spell. It's really rather efficient.
Be that as it may, certain difficulties are unavoidable. The imbuing process will still require no small amount of ether. And, as I can no longer draw upon the Crystal Tower's stores of energy, I will be compelled to rely on those of others.
Well, I, for one, would be glad to assist.
As would I. Since the resumption of our duties, it has been naught but stuffy meetings, and I have ample ether to spare.
Excellent. With your permission then, let us begin.
I can help too. Am I not gonna, just not gonna, okay.
Yes, this will do. And now, it's my turn. Tis done.
No small amount indeed. Oh.
Well, we seek to go where even the Allegans did not. It was never like to be easy. The rest is up to you, Alize. The treatment itself will take time and focus, so we will need a quiet room. I'm sure our hosts can spare one. I will go with her. It may be a while before we return, so I would ask for your patience and your faith.
We'll bring Gabu back. You see if we don't.
'Twould seem our part is played. Let us find a place to recuperate while we wait for news.
Sure thing. I know this place pretty well. There's a couple nice bars. Mostly just the Aft Castle. Well, this seems as good as a spot as any to have a rest. You mean the rock? You guys are walking towards the rock. Oh, apparently they did mean the rock. I was joking.
For years, Eorzea has labored to find a solution to the primal problem, without success. Any hope that tempering could be reversed faded long ago. I myself had given it up as impossible. Given up on the tempered and the light corrupted alike. They were problems to be tolerated, or else eliminated, I believed. And to think otherwise was pure naivety. Childishness, even. But Alize refused to give up. She struggled and she struggled. And her efforts were rewarded with a way to bring back Halric. And now countless others may no longer be beyond salvation. However much we bicker, I have the greatest respect for my sister. Had I half her stubbornness, nay, her unwillingness to accept the status quo, I would be a far better person. A far better scion.
Don't tell me, tell her. I think that's good advice. Like...
I should, I know. Yet, despite my good intent, I have the feeling that I would only succeed in incurring her ire.
Well, that,
Alize, are you all right?
The treatment. Did it work?
I'm so glad to see you all. Delighted, happy, glad.
Gaboo!
well, well. Turns out we didn't just spend like half this patch's story doing like absolutely nothing useful.
All this time, my mind was filled with thoughts of Great Father Titan. But I never forgot about Mother and Father. Always, they were in my heart. Constantly, ever, always. So I tried to focus on their faces. Theirs and yours. Alize's and everyone's. And I found that I could remember. One thing, then another, and another.
Your hopes reached Gaboo. They helped him to hold on.
I'm so proud of you, Gaboo.
I couldn't have done it without you, Alize. Can you help the others too? Cure them, heal them, help them?
Yes, we can. All of them.
Without wishing to dampen the mood, I feel compelled to add certain caveats regarding the viability of the treatment for general use. As you know, reversing the effects of tempering demands a profuse amount of ether. And while Alize was able to heal Gaboo alone, I fear the same will not be true for those who exhibit more advanced symptoms. Moreover, the treatment's effects are limited to the soul. It offers no succor to those whose very flesh has been altered through prolonged exposure to a primal's influence. All of which is to say that we cannot save everyone.
Maybe we can't, or maybe we can. No one gave us a hope of saving Gaboo, and yet here we are. We must find a way to treat as many as possible.
Then the next logical step would be to produce a veritable army of Porkses, would it not? Granted, it seemed a simple enough process in the first, but I suspect it will be different here in the source. Not that I am any authority.
Yet there is an authority on familiars to whom we may grudgingly turn. She's stubborn, haughty, eccentric, irascible, laconic, annoying. And her name is Master Matoya, the real one.
Oh dear.
I have to go now, Gaboo. But the people here will look after you, all right? And I promise to come and visit you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Alize. Thank you.
Man, that's such a good setup and payoff. Like they did a really good job setting that Gaboo story, because it's like they set it up like before everything else and it kind of felt like a side thing, right? It totally felt like a side quest. It was like, oh yeah, you know, here do this thing before you and your friends all get ushered off to the first. But now it's relevant again, and it's like if they hadn't set up Gaboo's story so long ago, that would have made, like, if they just introduced, like, oh, hey, here's this kobold kid who got tempered by, it wouldn't have had nearly the amount of weight to it. So, the trace of a wry smile is visible on your Stola's lips. As she will be at pains to remind me, I have not paid Master Matoya a visit since returning from the first, but this seems as good of a time as any. Come, let us make for her cave.
It wasn't easy to leave, as it happens. Seldom does one have the opportunity to study other worlds, and I would not have minded extending my stay by a handful of years.
Ever the scholar. Y'shtola dedicated herself to studying ancient civilizations of the First, befriending a tribe known as the Knights Blessed in the process. There she took on the name of Matoya and won the respect of all the children of the forest.
Alphino, I'm not sure if that would have been... I'm not sure if that's a good thing to just blurt out.
I merely adopted an alias in accordance with the custom of my hosts. Yours just happened to be the first name that came to mind.
You mean to tell me you went gallivanting about using my name and only bother to visit when you need a favor? And don't pretend you don't. I taught you long enough.
Indeed. And devoted pupil that I am, I could not fail to recall my master's sage advice. When the answer eludes you, look to the wisdom of your elders.
You there. Were you going to introduce yourself?
How remiss of me. Grahatia is my name, and I'm proud to call myself a scion. I too wish to offer my gratitude for your invaluable aid in sustaining the Archon's bodies, as well as my apologies. It was my inexpert summoning spell which endangered their lives in the first place.
Ah, yes. The one bent on digging up the mysteries of Alag. Old Galaf used to speak of you, and Kryles told me all about your recent exploits. Do you have a bad back or something? At ease, boy. Whatever mess you've made, I'm not in the habit of dwelling on the failings of the younger generation.
You are too kind. I've also heard much and more about you, Master Matoya. 'Tis an honor to finally make your acquaintance.
Well, that's more than enough pleasantries for anyone. Tell me what you want. I haven't got all day. So that's the way of it. It should be a simple enough matter to make the familiar. The magic, on the other hand.
Ah, that you may leave to me. Being the only one possessed of royal blood, I alone can imbue the subject with the necessary magic.
So I just need to create porxes with the power to stir the soul. Just, I say. Though we're talking about a veritable herd of the little buggers, we'd collapse before we reached double figures. But if I could get a familiar to create the familiars, a mother...
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to click on that.
Seems I haven't seen the last of that moldy old hole after all.
Alright, I have to see if Y'shtola is going to say anything about how, like, Alphino just sold him out. Hold on. Alphino, what do you have to say for yourself? Oh, nothing. Oh, wait, never mind. By the way, Minsky, do you think I misspoke earlier? I assure you it was not my intention to embarrass anyone. Yeah, I would say. I'd say probably. Moldy old hole. She really must miss the place. Well, apparently, Y'shtola knows what Matoya is talking about, which makes sense. Makes sense. All right, off to my old workshop. Then everything required to make your familiar is there. There also might be interesting like dialogues for it. Also, yeah, if I'm not in a party, it lets me watch the cutscene. Although this is probably just going to be like a intro. Jesus, enough books.
Right. To begin with, I need you to gather a few ingredients. Listen well to what the Pirogos say, or you'll wish you had.
Where of Lights, like that's an ominous warning. Alright, let's go. Also, it gives me the chance to like look around, especially afterwards. What is this? Through this portal, you will find it if you would. Alright, let's go. Let's go through the earthy portal. I'm not sure I like how his name is still the Unwashed. I'm gonna look around. You guys can wait. We can wait to do this. Mudman, huh? Let's see. You know what? Let's just go. Oh man, I forgot. Hard rock. Ha, I get it. Because he's an earthen guy, but he's like... It's hard rock. It's like a literal rock. Oh dear. Oh no. Those weren't rocks. That must have been a different cast. What are these balls gonna do? Are they gonna explode? Peat pelt. Oh, what is this? What is this? What? Excuse me? Did I mess up? Oh, good. I'll wait for the first one to go off, and then there we go. I bet that means that we can't go in the whirlpools. Like if we go in the whirlpools, we'll be in trouble. And like he probably has knockback mechanics. Trying to figure out what. Oh, is Hard Rock the tank buster? That's cool. Mudmen have blocked some of the drains. What does that mean? Oh, do we have to aim them towards the Mudmen? Is that what we have to do? Which one am I tethered to? Oh geez. Okay, hold on. I have this. I got this. Please actually work. There we go. I'm sure that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay. I think I did it wrong. Yep. That was the wrong thing. I have to try to get it into one of the. I have to try to get it into one of the drains. But I can't get it into that. I can get it into that one. Damn it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I did that mechanic completely backwards. Got it. You do not want to hit the... You want to have the balls go in the drains. You don't want to have... Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. That's neat. I like that. I didn't know what I was doing, so I totally fucked it up, but... Okay, so... I'm going to want to make sure that my ball goes into one of the drains. There we go. This'll work. Well, I shouldn't just assume I'm going to get tethered. I did. Is it proximity based? If two go in at the same time, is that a problem? We'll find out, Graha. No, nope, it's not. If two going at the same time is not a problem. That's good. We're fine. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna like billiard ball and like they both bounce off each other and not go in. But that doesn't seem to be. Why did I pop that? That was stupid. Oh, and guess what? I popped reassembled early. Not reassembled. I popped tactician early. Oh boy. Okay, that was a little bit more spicy. Alphino, you better heal us. There we go. There we go. I got maiming gear? Does it look like I need maiming gear? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. How lame. Next, we need to get the water flowing again. Can you talk to Matoya? Stay focused now. Nope, she just yells at you. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I expected anyway, so. I can't say I left disappointed. The watering well. Hello, Frogman. Marorogo the Damp. At least it's not the Moist. Imagine if they had used the Moist as his like title. Oh, that would have been way worse. That would have been so much worse. What is that? Are we gonna have to fight a giant like thing of cotton candy? What the hell is that thing? What is that? I don't know, but I don't like it. In fact, this is how much I don't like it. Oh, you know what? I forgot to... Fuck. Ignore the fact that I popped that before I had air anchor. What is this? I'm gonna get away from him, probably. Or were we supposed to? What? That was a lot of damage. I don't know if... Okay. I don't know if he was supposed to take that much damage. I'm really not sure. I don't know how the mechanic works yet. Why did he disappear? No, I don't think we need any more water. We're good. What is this? What? I mean, is that what? Hold on. Oh, this is just the... What is the point of this? Is this just to dodge the thing? Can I even reach them from up here? I can't. Oh, do you have to do this? Oh! Okay. There we go. I was like, what the hell is this mechanic?
Just the beginning.
What? Excuse... What happened? Excuse me? Did I not do it fast enough? Did I have to... What the hell was that? People are out here already clearing, like... Already clearing Eden's Promise Savage. I'm here wiping to, like, dungeons. What is happening? What was that? I don't understand. I can only imagine I just didn't hit them we didn't kill them fast enough. Cause I was like too busy being a dumbass, being like, oh, we gotta dodge the water streams, guys. God damn it. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Round 2, let's go. I'm mad. Alright, you're getting no... You're getting no... No mercy from me. I can only assume we're supposed to block these, I guess? I don't know. Ow. Maybe not. I can only assume. Okay, I'll just move back here. You think this is gonna mess me up? Come on, we did bird portals. Bird portals are way harder than that. All right, let's figure this out. Let's get on top of the cloud, like from the beginning, from the top. I can only imagine we didn't kill them fast enough. Like that's the only thing that I can imagine is like was what happened, because I didn't see us kill all of them. Yeah, you probably there. I saw a cast bar. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe tactician will help. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. There was a cast bar, and we were just too slow because it took me way too long to figure out the mechanic. Okay. Okay. Oh dear. Oh god. Graha, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, we got it. We got it. We got it. We're good. Do we just... What do we do? That's probably a... You don't want to stand in the streams when you get hit by that. That'll probably hurt really bad. Okay, come on. Oh, there's one on the other side now. Oh, shit. Are they gonna do a thing where, like... At the end of the fight, they activate, like, there is no safe zone, and you have to use the, like, spires to, like, avoid that? Oh, that'd be cool. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see all 4 light up. Damn it, no! That's so lame! I wanted it to be a cool mechanic where it's, like, all 4 light up and there is no safe zone and you have to use the spouts. I'm not even gonna let that hit. Nope, nope, there we go. I was really wanting that mechanic to be really cool. Like that, imagine how cool that would be though, right? Like if like all 4 lit up at the same time and you're like, oh shit, what do we do? And then you see the spouts and you're like, oh, maybe that's a little too big brain. Maybe that's like a savage mechanic. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. Kiln the fire. I was really hoping though. I was like, yeah, maybe wouldn't it be cool if they did that where it's like they lit I was kind of hoping there'd be more like interesting dialogue from the NPCs. Maybe I've been missing it in chat, but I don't know why I popped a wildfire there. This guy's gonna blow up. Unless I kill him first, which is possible. Nope, there it is. He blew up. Apparently all of this is like melted down ether crystals, according to Yustola. I did start checking the chat. That's why I was like, Graha's just nerding out about the rainbow colored lava. Okay, there is some cool dialogue. Oh, I thought this guy was gonna be the boss. Apparently he's not good enough for that. Alright, time to burn our feet. Burn our feet and then Oh. Oh, I thought we were gonna have to fight something. I just looked at the quest. Whatchamacallit? I just looked at the quest. The over here. Don't look. By the way, if you don't want to get spoiled by what's about to happen, but I just looked over at it. And I think I know what's about to happen.
Right then, let's get this over with. Newborns are wont to be difficult. Sure, who's in charge?
Okay, guess we're gonna have to beat some sense into the Queen Porksy. Mother Porksy. Porcine porcelain. I got it. Alright. I wanted to jump down and be cool, but I guess we have to go down the stairs. Mapping the realm. Toya's relict. A pugnacious... Y'shtola says, a pugnacious specimen, just like its creator. I love how Y'shtola has just been throwing entirely throwing shade at Matoya the entire time. Alright, let's go. I wanted to do that. There we go. Oh, okay. I hope I'm far enough forward. There we go. We're pro raiders. Look at this. Maybe I'll stand with everyone else. What? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, jeez. Oh, books. Books. Oh, jeez, I can't. Oh! Oh, this might be bad. I see. There's... Oh, shit. Dodging is scary. Alright, you do not want to... Oh, just... I lived.
Just the beginning.
You only have a certain amount... Every time you dodge, you, like, lose footing. So you only have a certain amount of dodging you're allowed to do. That's scary. I just popped Heat Blast. Are you kidding me? Alright, listen. Apparently we gotta get rid of these things quickly. Is it just this thing? There's not more, right? Like, there... What? Why is it not dying? Okay. What? What? What was that? Oh, is that what's gonna... Oh, you get to... What? I think that's cool, but I'd have to see how the mechanic works more to know. I think what it is you only get a split second to see, like, what direction she's gonna blow you in. And, like... Do not take that out of context. And then... Like, you only get a split second to see which way the wind's blowing. And you have to adjust to that. I'm pretty sure that's how the mechanic works. That's really cool. I hope it's... I hope that's it, and that she's not just on the same side every time. Because that'd be kind of lame. Wait a minute, her raid wide's called Tenderloin? Are you kidding me? It is. It's called Tenderloin. That's ridiculous. There's probably, like, everything's probably been like a... I mean, like, her Tank Buster, I believe it's their Tank Buster, is called Meat Mallet. No, not the Tank Buster. The thing where, like, she puts the puddle down. Just a bunch of pig puns. Montoya comes wandering in. Alright, let's see. And Alize too. Oh wait, can I talk to any of these people? Nothing quite like a kiln fresh familiar. Hold on, Graha, what did you say? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Could you repeat that? I couldn't see your speech while I was paying attention. I was busy paying attention to my waifu. I want to hear what you were saying. Okay. It looks like he will repeat it. Graha. Graha. Work with me. You said something. Say it again. I want to... Oh my god. Yes. Yes. Yes, Shistola. I agree. I'm trying to figure out what... Why does it not trigger for Graha? Come on. Alright, fine. Fine. I won't find out what he said. Quite a fight she put up. What do you have to say? She's twitching. Is that normal? Is she? Oh, she is. Alpha, no, don't do this. Don't do this to me. Maybe you just don't have anything to say. Alpha No's not saying anything. Graha, I never knew familiar creation could be so rough. Oh, that wasn't worth it. That was not worth the effort. Can I still? Yeah, okay. I was like, is the boss still phasable? That is the thing. It's pretty jarring with all the Sin Eaters, the whatchamacallits, because like for cutscene reasons they couldn't disappear from the screen, but for continuity reasons, but then you just had these giant like light wardens sitting in the middle of the arena that you could phase through.
There we are. Quite tame.
Just involved beating the crap out of it first.
Then all that remains is for me to imbue her with the magic. My friends, I'm afraid I must trouble you for your ether once more.
I can help this time. Am I seriously not gonna help? I'm the warrior of light. I have like a bunch of ether.
That should suffice.
Good. Let's set her to work then, shall we? I want to see some porkses. Assuming that is, someone can spare the requisite energy. A mere drop in the ocean for the great sorceress Montoya, I dare say.
Oh, that was her. That was her being snarky at Y'shtola. That's what that line was about. Guys, I'm literally right here. I can help.
Excellent. Our very own litter of Angelos. And we can make as many more as we want, simply by providing the mother Porksy with additional ether.
I will require a moment before I try again.
It's still hard work, but a damn sight more efficient than making them one by one. Thank you, Master Matoya. Everyone. We're a step closer to our goal.
Distributed amongst the allied nations, they should do much to facilitate closer dialogue with the beast tribes. And given their present travails, I believe our friends in Limsa Laminsa should be the first beneficiaries.
Agreed. Though I must leave this errand to you. I doubt my legs will carry me out of the cave, much less to Vilbrand. Thank you for taking the lead in gathering the ingredients. I expect you would benefit from a rest too.
Hey, we all went. You went too. You were with me. I could have helped.
In addition to the Porkses, I trust you've gained an inkling of how much effort goes into the creation of familiars. Or mayhap you attribute your struggles to old age.
If I said yes, would it persuade you to treat me like an adult?
Not with that pertness, it wouldn't. Anyway, assuming you have no other favors to ask, I shall be leaving.
Tidings to the Admiral, you say? She is presently receiving guests, but for the Scions, I know she'll make an exception. Follow me. Also, it's really cool to me that, like, people from your, people from your, grand company will recognize your rank, because they called me a lieutenant, and I'm a lieutenant in Maelstrom. I always thought that was a really cool detail. My friends, what brings you here this day? Is this true? By the Navigator, a cure for tempering. As often as I have been in awe of you Scions, I would not have thought it possible. And yet it is, Admiral. We have done it, here in Limsa, and production of more familiars has already begun. You have my thanks, truly. This will do much to advance the cause of peace, and I fear it will take more to close the rift twixt man and beastman. Bah, even to speak thus divides us. Welcome as it is, a cure will not guarantee reconciliation between our peoples, for though summoning in the tempered may serve to fuel the conflict, they are but a symptom of it. If we are to resolve the primal problem once and for all, we must address the cause. We must strive for mutual understanding and find a way to leave our bloody past behind. 'Twas I who moved that the Alliance renew its push for peace. Since our ancestors came to these shores some 7 centuries past, we Laminsians have been at odds with those who share our island home. Save for a brief moment of cooperation with the Kobolds, our history has been one of nigh constant territorial squabbling. Meanwhile, our struggle with the Sahan for control over the seas has only grown fiercer, a matter made worse by the thrice-damned calamity driving them to seek new spawning grounds. With survival at stake, each had no choice but to fight, and so I dismissed peace as impossible. Impossible is a word coined by the weak, I proclaimed to all who'd listen, and then gave up. You and yours put me to shame. Since you led us to victory against the Black Wolf, you have achieved the impossible again and again and again. And I thought it high time that I followed suit, hence my proposal to the Alliance Council. But no sooner did I reach out to our neighbors in Vilbrand than my own people sought to thwart me. You speak of the pirates who failed to attend the meeting. I, acting through a friendly Acting through a friendly faction among the kobolds, we had intended to seek an audience with a prominent patriarch. But the bloody executioners would not hear of it, and their absence sent a message to the rest. Though they are but one of the three pirate powers, they are the greatest, and any attempt at peace would founder without them. I don't know if that's like a use of that word that I've never heard before, or if that was supposed to be flounder, but it's a typo. Am I given to understand that their leader, Captain Hillfire, that might be Hellfire. I don't know, but I'm gonna say Hillfire has been bedridden for some time, for some while, with an ailment of the lungs. Correct. In his absence, his right hand leads a man named Sicard, but recently risen to prominence amongst their rank. Save for his disdain for authority, little is known about him. We have invited him to speak with us more than once, but he will not come. I have tasked the Yellow Jackets and the Rogues with uncovering his motives, but they have learned naught of any value. Leave it to us. We have a nose for the truth. Whatever this Sicard wants, we'll find out. Truly, I would be much obliged. I shall look forward to hearing what you learn, then. Good luck. Compared to yours and Mutsuki's, mine is an unfamiliar face. Let me play the role of a buyer. Graha is right, and even if you aren't recognized on sight, you look too genteel to be mixing with society's underbelly. Genteel, but very well, I leave it to you, Graha. Got business with me, Catboy? You're the crystal's wholesaler. That I am, but you're no merchant, so what do you want the crystals for? Don't look at us, you idiot. You'll give yourself away. Oh, I see. You're a weaponsmith, am I right? And you need crystals to make stabs like that fine specimen you've got there. That's right. I am indeed a weaponsmith, and I use not but the finest materials. I bid you show me your wares. Well, we don't invite just anybody into our storehouses. Takes time to establish trust, you understand. Look, I have a large and urgent commission. If the quality is satisfactory, I will not quibble over the price. All right. It's plain that no ordinary crystal adorning your that's plain that that's no ordinary. Jesus, I can't read. I cannot read. I'm sorry. All right. It's plain that no ordinary crystal. That's Jesus Christ. I did it again. All right. It's plain that's no ordinary crystal adorning your staff. So I'll make an exception. Come with me. Well, Graha's in for a mess. It seems to be working. Let's follow them. Oh dear, this is gonna be... Well, I mean, if anything goes wrong, I do have a gun, so I'm sure that'll be fine. He's clearly up to no good.
Look who's come crawling!
Traitor!
You can shove your peace!
Welcome aboard, Admiral. I'll wager you don't remember me. Sicard, acting captain of the bloody executioners, at your service.
'Twas kind of you to invite us. Now, if Captain Hillfear has a message for me, I bid you speak it.
We have just the one demand. That you forget this bilge about making peace with the beastmen. Ours is a nation of pirates. Always has been, always will be. Deny us our right to plunder, and you deny who we are.
Too bloody right!
Pirates till we die!
What we want, we take!
Piracy has no place in our future.
What'd she say?
Pirates have no place.
Our nation has prospered through piracy, 'tis true. Yet it is but one part of our long and storied history. Centuries ago, our ancestors led a failed rebellion and were driven from their homes with little more than the shirts on their backs. In fear of their lives, they sailed south until they came to these shores. Finding the land occupied by kobolds, however, they were forced to turn to piracy in order to survive. And survive they did. But not so long ago, when the Empire threatened to crush everything we'd built, we set aside piracy and joined hands with our neighbors. This too was in order to survive. And survive we did. Time after time we fought the Empire, and time after time we won. And through trade with our newfound allies, we prospered more than we ever did through pillaging and plundering. The Empire teeters on the brink of collapse. Ere long, provinces like Wurlit and Bosnia and many others will regain their freedom. When they do, our matchless fleet will lead the world in a new golden age of commerce. The tides favor us, and the ocean beckons with her vast bounty. But if we cling to the old ways, this great ship we call Limsa will trade the boundless seas for a lagoon. Shall we scorn the world's wealth for a plundered pittance then? Or shall we embrace change and thrive like our ancestors before us? The choice is yours. But if we are to prosper in the coming age, the whole of Vilbrand must become our ship, and a kobold and Sahagin our crewmates.
Rousing words. Might even be some truth in them. But pirating's all we've ever known. And we ain't about to give it up just 'cause you say so. Still, we're all the Mincins here and no one wants a war. So where does that leave us?
Long before you became Admiral, I heard you was captain of the League of Lost Bastards. That true? If so, you'd know how we pirates settle our differences.
A duel.
Oh shit.
Very well. As Admiral of Limsa Laminsa, I accept your challenge.
She just got real. I have a feeling he's not going to play fair, though. I'm waiting for it.
This ain't over! Not till one of us is dead! Finish the job! Or I will!
It's the captain!
Captain Ilfair!
Ye fool! 'Twas over afore it began.
Captain's back.
Captain!
Seems the whelps have been yapping while their master was abed. Listen well, all of ye. Since the signing of the Galadian Accord, we all of us have been part of the same crew. The crew of the good ship Lemsa Laminsa. At the helm of that ship is the Admiral. And 'tis she who decides where we sail. Was I not clear on that point? Or did you forget whose deck you stand on? Nay? Then what in the seven hells are you playing at?
It's all we know, Captain. If we ain't pirates, what are we?
You're bloody idiots is what ye are. Idiots with your own lives ahead of ye. Ye can do anything ye want. Be anything ye want. We're pirates, aye. And we pirates love our loot. But that ain't our first love. Our first love is the sea. The sea! And what she brings us. Freedom! So hold fast to that. Let the brine-crusted husk that stands before you now be the last of them as knew naught save out of steel. And make of yourselves a new breed of pirate! Lad, I made ye me right hand 'cause I saw something in ye. And I still do. You have the makings of a captain. All you lack's the belief. Well now, it seems we're of one mind after all. Apologies for the misunderstanding, Admiral. We're with ye, wherever ye be headed.
You have my thanks, Hilfir.
Your choice of dueling pistol did not escape my notice. Good old Annihilator. Ender of many a proud pirate's voyage. Mistbeard's vanished into legend, and it won't be long before I take my rest in the depths. Yet be that as it may, the old ways can only truly die when we've dealt the Empire the telling blow. There'll be stormy seas ahead, no doubt.
but I'm trusting ye to steer us through to the other side.
Okay, that was pretty cool. I like that. I like how the captain came back. Though I had anticipated a duel, I did not foresee that Hilfer would intervene. But I'm full glad that he did. 'Twould have been a shame to kill the boy. Instead, I love it how she's not even like, she's like, yeah, I'm glad he intervened because I would have had to kill him otherwise. It's like she wasn't worried about herself. She was like, I didn't want to kill him. Some 50 years pass when the Sahagin swarmed at our hulls in the even greater numbers. Laminza entered into a covenant with the kobolds. To men shall go the bounty of the sea, to kobolds shall go the bounty of the land. An ostensibly equitable arrangement, conspicuously lacking in detail. Aye, inadvertently or not, the wording was ambiguous, and we took advantage of it, moving in to claim the northern reaches of Lenosha, which the kobolds believed theirs. Bloodshed followed, then bloodshed to answer the bloodshed, and on it went, till every Ilm of Ilbrand bore the stain of our conflict. This is not history, you understand. This is the present, fresh and raw, and with our kindred's blood yet on our hands, we will struggle to regain the kobolds' trust, even should we cure the tempered. Admiral, you speak of obstacles we are like to encounter at the meeting, but as things stand, I see no reason why the kobolds would agree to a meeting in the first place. And so we must provide a reason. I will restore their stolen crystals to them, and personally deliver the cargo along with my apologies. Bait, they would welcome us into their midst, not to speak of peace, but to have you at their mercy. Aye, and given the wealth of crystals we will bring, I'll wager they will attempt to summon Titan there and then. Meaning a high priest would need to be present, to whom we could administer the cure. Precisely. He is the fish I would catch, but he will not be alone. Nay, he will have guards on hand, and they will lay down their lives to protect him. Yet a single death on the kobold side would jeopardize our chance at peace, and there my venture founders. Yet it need not. What if we were to employ our Conqueror's chain? What if we were to employ the Conqueror's chain? Though we would still have to weaken the kobolds, it would allow us to subdue them without inflicting lasting harm. The artifact Mistbeard used to take goods and not life. Aye, that would serve. Well done, Marshal. So, friends, what do you think of our strategy? The effects of tempering are cumulative, and we may safely assume that the High Priest's exposure to a primal influence is extensive. It will, therefore, take a great deal of ether to reverse its effects, not to mention time. Time during which Alize would be defenseless. Even should we all look to her protection, I'm not convinced we could keep an entire army of kobolds at bay. Well, I'm happy to take that risk. It's not as if we have any other choice. Besides, it's what Tesleen would do. And had I not followed her example, we wouldn't even have a cure for tempering, much less a chance to bring peace to Vilbrand. So I'm going to cure that priest or die trying. I believe in you, Alize. And I believe in you too. You and everyone. I know you'll keep me safe. It is settled then. See to your preparations and make for Camp Overlook. We will join you there or non. Alright, let's go. I will shoot them with my less deadly bullets. I do have a gun. I'm not sure if that's a problem.
Greetings, Patriarch. I am Merlwib Lufisvin, Admiral of Limsa Laminsa.
Hold on, that's how you pronounce it? Well, I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. Not that that's much of a surprise, but Blufiswin. Okay, that's weird.
I come before you to offer my sincerest apologies for the many wrongs committed by my people against you and yours.
You were foolish to come here. Stupid, unwise, foolish. The Great Father shall have your souls for your folly.
Aye, just as we thought.
Now, Alize! Quickly!
You don't need to tell me!
Let none pass. We must grant her as much time as we can.
Okay. I'm still not allowed to kill them, right? Like,
You're in my sights.
what? That was what I was supposed to do, right? Like, what am I doing? I don't know if I'm supposed to kill them or not kill them. Like, I did say, don't kill anyone. Alright, well, I'm assuming this is fine. I'm assuming the fact that I killed one of them is... Well, these are golems, so I guess they're not even technically kobolds. There was a kobold in there, though. So I don't know, like, was that okay to kill? There is definitely some... Okay. They're technically alive. It's one of those things where their health bar dropped to 0, they're technically not dead yet. Alright, so it looks like there's going to be 4 waves.
Just what we need.
Do I stand in it?
You're not alone.
I guess I stand in it. Also, I can do this. What was that? Was that not a... That was not a line marker? Okay. Well, I guess I did that wrong then. Oh, geez. How do I don't... I'm assuming that's just okay? Okay.
You're in my sights.
I don't know why I popped wildfire when that thing's about to die. That was dumb of me.
Here you are, Alize.
Can I help? Nope. Okay. Okay.
I need more ether.
That was a lot of damage. Holy crap, was I supposed to take that? I'm assuming I was supposed to take that, but Jesus. Alright. Alright, this game's not messing around. There we go. Jeez, that was a lot. Oh no. Alright, this isn't... We're gonna have some trouble. Yeah, there's too many of them. Also can't actually intercept the... Is he gonna be okay? No. No, he's not gonna be okay. Okay. Wow, they're getting like 10 stacks? Yes, okay, here. How do I do that? Oh wow, that's a lot. Okay. All right, let's go. Oh. Eat my giant robot. Alright, here you go. Give me that 10th stack.
Yes, this will do. Here I go. Angela.
Oh, sorry. Forgot I have to actually click on that. It doesn't advance automatically.
Did it work?
What?
is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry, but they died by your hand. You sacrificed them to summon Titan.
Did we seriously just leave their bodies there, though?
Why would I do such a thing?
Would that there were a cure for the victims of the Tempered.
Garbu! What are you doing here?
Did you really think he was gonna stop?
Patriarch, please listen to me. Hear, heed, listen. The Great Father we have been summoning is false. He only hurts us and those we love. For a long time, his voice filled my mind. It told me to do terrible things. Awful, unspeakable, terrible things. But I didn't give in to it, and you mustn't either. There's been too much pain already, so please, end the suffering.
What have I done?
We share this child's desire, Patriarch. An end to summoning, for it spells naught but misery for both our peoples. For many long years, man and kobold have feuded over territory, pillaging and perishing for the earth beneath our feet. It may be said that we fought to survive, but what we have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, and it cannot go on. I would see us set aside the past and work together for peace.
It was wrong of me to hurt my own in the name of the Great Father. Sinful, evil, wrong. But that doesn't mean there can be peace between us. Men cannot be trusted. The bounty of the land was to be ours, and yours the bounty of the sea. But you broke the pact. Violated, breached, broke. Unready as we were, what choice had we but to call upon the divine to rid ourselves of your tyranny?
None, and I do not blame you for it. In violation of the spirit, if not the letter of the pact, we took your lands for our own. The fault lies wholly with us. On behalf of all Laminsons, I offer you my humblest apology. I pray you'll find it in your heart to accept it. Yet I know an apology alone will not serve to make things right. So, we will revise the pact to leave no room for doubt. And any who violate it shall face justice, swift and certain.
No. We won't be fooled. Not again.
Please, hear me to the end. Fleeting though it was, there was a time when man and kobold abided together in harmony, in cooperation. In those days, your people shared the secrets of smelting. Knowledge which allowed Limsa Lominsa to thrive. Much of what we have, we owe to the kobolds. And so, for the good of all who dwell on this isle, I wish to make you an offer. We will bear your people's wares to every corner of the world, and trade them in your stead. In return, we will bring you the bounty, not only of the sea, but lands both near and far. Whatever you desire, the Navigator as my witness, you shall have it. There will be no more man and beastman, just the crew of the great ship that is Vilbrand. And together, we will share in the wealth of the world, if you'll only accept our hand in friendship.
We want to believe you. We truly do. But we believed you before and you betrayed us. Fooled, deceived, betrayed us.
There are bad men, it's true. But there are also good ones. And the ones before you are the best of them. They were always kind to me. Caring, nice, kind, and I trust them with my life.
Before I became Admiral, I was a pirate. I stole, I fought, I stained the sea red with blood. Such is my past, and I dare not forget it, however much I might want to. That is death penalty. The pistol I used to pass judgment on my own sire when he fell thrall to Leviathan and betrayed his comrades. It's loaded. If you were to point it at my head and pull the trigger, I would most assuredly die. Though it isn't much, my life is the single most valuable thing I possess. If it will suffice to atone for past wrongs, take it. A single bullet to annul the old pact, and my blood to write it anew. What comes after, I entrust to this man, my second in command. I know that he will do his utmost for the happiness of all who call Vilbrand home.
I do not trust you. Not yet. But Gabu does. And I will trust him.
We want you to know that we respect your faith. There's nothing wrong with giving thanks to the land which sustains you. But summoning is different. Should you hear of anyone who would attempt it, we ask that you appeal to their better judgment, or failing that, seek our aid. We're always ready to help.
Many and more of my brethren are yet in thrall to the Great Father, just as I was. If you could free them too, I would be grateful. Appreciative, thankful, grateful.
Tis we who should be grateful, Patriarch. I thank you for affording us this chance.
Wow, kobolds are a lot taller than I expected. Like, but I'm always surprised when I see, like, maybe it's just the chief that's like bigger, but I'm always surprised at how big they are. Cause like I think they're all like Gabu's size, but Gabu's a kid. It would seem we have found a way forward with the kobolds. Next, we will help the Second Order to free their tempered brethren from thraldom. Theirs is far from the only order, of course, but it will take no small amount of time and effort to reach the rest. But reach them we will, however long it takes. I would say that I was in your debt, but that has long been true. So instead, I will say thank you for helping us to plot a new course, not only for Limsa Lominsa, but all at Orzia. Like I said, I think it's interesting that they're going through and dealing with like problems that the city-states kind of has always had. Oh shit, future rewritten. This is the name of the patch. This is the end. Probably.
Right. Let's return to the Rising Stones.
Admiral, something strange is afoot at the floating city.
Breathe, man. What is it?
I think it's best you see for yourself. Please, come with me.
What in the world is that? A tower?
You can see it too, then? I feared I was losing my wits. One moment I was patrolling as usual, and the next it was just there.
Yes? This is she. I am. I'm looking at it. What? Understood. Send the Elder Seedseer my regards. The communications officer. It seems this isn't the only tower. They've sprung up all across Eorzea.
Bullshit. And considering this is the end of the patch, we're not going to find out what that's all about, probably.
Nothing more is known, only that they appear to be of Garlean construction. Our allies on the Alamegan front are on highest alert.
That does not look Garlean. I guess that means that, well, something's going to happen.
But would you join them? They may well need the help.
I shouldn't say this is going to be this is going to be the last like quest line. I don't know how long this quest line is going to be though.
We shall make all
they could have me running around everywhere. They like to do that sometimes.
Right, thanks. I will return to Limsa to weigh our response. Look for Commander Hext when you arrive in Alamigo, and may the Navigator speed you on your way.
That's a problem. I mean, I knew they were going to show up some point because we saw them in the trailer and there was no way they weren't going to show up. But I was like, you know, something seems fishy about this.
Thank you for coming so soon. I'll send for Commander Aldin at once, and we can decide what to do about these infernal towers.
Roger preserve!
Oh, we can just fly?
It can't be.
The palace! After them!
Look at him flying like a friggin' super villain. What a lame brain. Ignore all the times on stream I said I wish the Warrior of Light could do that. What if we get it? That'd be cool. Oh, here we are.
You're here. Good.
Well, well, well! To be received by such an illustrious cast! Why, even the hero of the piece is here! I feel quite starstruck.
I hate you and everything you stand for.
Is that Asahi?
I don't think it's Asahi.
His body more like. You don't fool us.
Oh! You saw straight through it. Anyone would think you dealt with Asians before.
I mean, he's such a piece of shit and I hate him.
I am Fan Daniel, and may I say what a pleasure it is to finally make your acquaintance.
The towers, what are they for? Cut straight to the chase with this one.
My, straight to business is it? Suit yourself. It is my intention to recreate the final days, to which end I have distributed a collection of rather ingenious devices, or towers, which will, in time, give rise to the grandest of spectacles.
The final days of Amurai. You want to recreate that? Man, this guy is twisted.
Days? But it was the Asians who labored to prevent them.
You're quite right. Though I would expect no less from one responsible for eliminating my unsundered colleagues. Honestly, the three of them were obsessed with restoring the one true world. As a sovereign individual, however, I never had much interest in such things. I mean, why bother when you're just another sundered minion? Admittedly, Elidibus was not convinced by that argument, but thanks to you, I'm finally free of his incessant nagging. Free to use my powers as I see fit, to fulfill my heart's desire. And my heart's desire is to lay this half-broken world to waste leaving nary a fleck of dust behind.
What? Why would you want such a thing?
Because I want wretched creatures who ask such meaningless questions to die. You! And you! And you! I want you all to die! And I want to die too! Oh, yes! I want to die and take everyone with me in a paroxysm of pain and suffering! I'm different, you see, from the ancients who clung to dear life, and from you. So don't bother trying to reason with me. You will find I have no reason, or creed, or any such tripe.
I get what they're
just want
doing.
to destroy the world. But please do resist with all your might. It will add to my enjoyment.
I get exactly what they're doing. So no one understood. Everyone was pissed. Everyone, there's a vocal minority of people, and I don't know if it's a vocal minority or if it's a lot of people. There is a lot of people who really vocally don't like Xenos. So what they did is they saw all the criticism about Xenos, and they're like, that's not what we were doing with this character, but we can show you what that'll look like with the character, like that only wants death and destruction and has absolutely no motivation. Like, Xenos has a motivation. If people don't agree with it, that's one thing, but like, Xenos has a motivation. Van Daniel is just like, fuck you, I just want everyone to die. Like, everyone, all of the criticism about Xenos being like an emo, like edgy boy, it's like, he literally said he wanted to take everyone down with him in a tumult, in like pain and despair. It's like, that is the edgiest thing. Like, they just made Van Daniel like what everyone thinks Xenos is but isn't, to contrast that Xenos is not like what everyone thinks he is. That's genius. I like that. I don't like him. I think Van Daniel's awful. I think he's going to be terrible. Like, I don't think he's going to be a terrible villain. I think he's going to be a great villain, but for all the wrong reasons. I think they're going to contrast Xenos and Van Daniel, and Van Daniel's just going to be like this insane psychopathic, like he wants to kill everyone and destroy the world for fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes peeled, for the curtains have risen on the spectacle to end all.
Those bastards literally just...
We, the Telophoroi, shall be your performers, and this very star our stage.
You guys might want to not stand there. Or do.
Ah, but I nearly forgot. I have a message for you. My esteemed patron, Lord Xenos, eagerly awaits you at the heart of the chaos.
There we go.
While I wish only to destroy the world, he exists solely to relive a certain, transcendent moment with you. And it is for that reason he would reduce all to ash.
Yep, there it is. Xenos just wants to fight again.
See to it his dreams do not go unfulfilled. For if you should disappoint him, my trusty companion here, whom I've dubbed Lunar Bahamut, will burn your cities and everyone in them.
Lunar Bahamut.
Everyone out! My men will tend to the blaze.
Ah, you're back too. Good. We've received the reports from the Alliance. Since we're all here, perhaps those who bore witness to the events in Alamigo could treat the rest of us to a first-hand account. Yeah, so it's a big bad Asian with lunar Bahamut. No sooner do we overcome one problem than another appears. It would all seem tediously predictable, but for the endless variety of our foes. It would all seem tediously predictable, but for the endless variety of our foes. This Finn Daniel sounds even more unhinged than his patron. Unhinged, perhaps, but no fool. For all his pantomime theatrics, he gave away little about his plot. We know only that he intends to recreate the final days, and that the towers will somehow facilitate this. He also called his dragon Lunar Bahamut. Let's not forget that little detail. And the creature certainly did resemble the Elder Primal. That may be, but the fact it answered to Fendaniel would suggest they are not one and the same. Would suggest they are not one and the same entity. I think it more probable that it is some manner of simulacrum born of Asian magics. Whatever it is, for now we can work closely with the Alliance and remain vigilant. I believe that concludes our news. What of yours, Justola? I have been to see the Sultana. Knowing how quick the immortal flames are to dispose of the tempered, I judged it best to provide them with the cure first. As soon as I had sufficiently recovered, I traveled to Ul'dah and delivered the Porxies to Her Grace, along with detailed instructions on their use. Yet my visit chanced to coincide with the arrival of some troubling tidings. The immortal flames have been on the cusp of agreeing to a truce with the Almojah when negotiations abruptly collapsed. The Almojah claim that a number of their kind have been abducted, and that men are responsible. Naught is known of the perpetrators as of yet, but as the immortal flames went about investigating the abductions, they came upon one of Fendaniel's towers. On the subject of the towers, you may be interested to learn that they are not an exclusively Orsian phenomenon. According to the Alliance, they have been sighted as far afield as Yanzia. Then it would seem reasonable to assume they are everywhere. We simply have not found them. Well, as you said yourself, we can do little more for now, save remain vigilant. And since we are dealing with a dragon, ostensibly at least, I believe it would behoove us to enlist the aid of an authority on such foes. Estinian. Estinian? Now just a moment. If he could be persuaded to lend us his lance, I would be the first to welcome it, but the truth is we still struggle to even find him. You let me and Cryo worry about that. We'll sniff him out, no matter where he's hiding. If he indeed is hiding. We have ways of locating him regardless, so if there are no objections, we shall depart at once. Well, rather than sitting around, I think I might go to each of the city-states and educate them in the use of the Porxies. They would doubtless appreciate it, but might you consider taking a moment to rest before leaving? You would be fresher for the tasks ahead. Well, my friend, our moment of triumph did not last long. Oh dear, are you not enjoying our adventure? I want to say this. I'm saying this one. I want to tease Graha a little bit. Come now, I didn't say that. While it may not be the most carefree experience, there is nothing in this world I would rather do than write a new future with you. A long future, mind. Whatever the Telafroi might hope. We'll stop them, won't we? Together. Meanwhile, somewhere in the locks. Oh, good. Oh, good. More cutscenes. This is gonna be fun.
The scouts should have been back by now. I'm gonna go and find them. Oh, thank goodness for that.
I don't think this is going to be a thank goodness moment.
Glory be to Garlemald!
Well, that just happened. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace. Okay, so he is in the Imperial Palace. But he's not Emperor.
The piles have been driven as planned, and the first of the beasts has roared to life.
You really need to shut up. I hate this man every time he talks. Like, okay, right? Like, he's a good villain, but he's the good villain in the sense that, like, I want to beat him up really bad. It like, way worse than, like you, I don't want to, like, shit on him and say he's not a terribly written character. He's just written in the way that I actually hate. Like, he's, like, the most annoying person, in my opinion. And so I want to beat him up really bad.
Moreover, I am pleased to report that preparations are well underway for the rest. Ere long, chaos shall reign over all the land, as befits the final days.
Call it what you will, so long as my friend returns to me, fangs bared and claws sharpened. I care not.
Of course, my lord. By strange coincidence, your dear friend chanced to be present when I made my declaration. I took the liberty of informing her that you await her coming, though I confess, I may have singed her a little in the process.
And why do you tell me this? Are you in such a hurry to die?
Ah, my apologies. I must guard my tongue lest it be the end of me. Though, there is something to be said for such a glorious death. Better to fall to one who has it all than falter before an inferior. I shall keep it in mind as a contingency. For now, however, I shall proceed with the plan. My lord.
I must find myself a new weapon. One worthy of our long-awaited reunion.
Well, that was neat. I think that was cool. Alright, so I did this last time, so I guess I'll do this time. Actually, let me see if our waifu Stola is hanging out in the Dawn's Respite, as it's called. She is. With Graha, no less. I'll talk to Graha first. While events have taken a grim turn, I must say that I've enjoyed our time adventuring together, the visit to Az's Law not least of all. Since then, I've spent some time pondering why Lord Amon rejected Owen's proposal to investigate a cure for iconic corruption. Perhaps he judged the endeavor too difficult to pursue, I considered, but it seems more likely that it was not in Alec's best interest for a cure to exist. Whatever the truth may be, full glad I am that we could finish what Owen began. I wonder what our friend Emperor Solus would think were he to learn that his own flesh and blood is seeking to usher in the final days, together with a rogue Ascian, no less. Idle musings aside, I pray that Thancred and Urianger return safely, with the intelligence we sorely need. I don't think Emmett would be too happy with the plans that Xenos is cooking up with Fandaniel. Alright, final thoughts, final verdicts, final thoughts on the patch. I liked it. I think it was okay. I did really feel the fact that, first of all, I'm kind of like, they lied. They lied like hell. They lied like hell in the trailer. In the trailer, they made it seem like Fandaniel and Xenos' plan would be a lot bigger would play a lot bigger, like, part in everything. I'm a little bit upset that like not when I say a little bit upset, I don't mean to say like, oh, this patch was garbage, they totally lied to us about what the story was going to be. It's just I had tempered my expectation. Ironically, I had tempered my expectations to experience a story about one thing, and when I didn't get that, I'm like, okay, they kind of slipped it in at the end there, but not really. That was kind of the main focus of what the trailer showed. So, like, not only was that surprise at the end not even a surprise because we all expected it because they showed us in the trailer, we also didn't get any more information like we thought we were going to. So it kind of feels a little bit cheap. I don't know, but like the story was good, and I enjoyed the breather. Having it be a breather, because especially if you have to remember, we went through the story like. We're going through the story. The people who are playing it actively are going through the story as it is, but you also got to remember there are going to be people who are going to play have to play through the whole story like all the way through, and it's nice to have a bit of a breather episode, so to speak, after the whole thing of 5.3, because 5.3 was a big story. Like, they dropped a lot of lore and it was heavy, and I do appreciate that this patch was less heavy. Like, it wasn't as heavy as that. I just, like I said, I had metered my expectations for the trailer, and that's not really what we got. But that doesn't mean I think it was bad. I liked the story. It was okay. It was good. I keep saying okay. It was good. It wasn't what I expected, so I'm a little bit like salty about that, but not because the story was bad. Just it wasn't the story I thought we were gonna get. I thought we were going to get. My voice kind of gave out there at the end, which is probably time to probably means it's time to start thinking about closing up stream here. If you're watching this after that, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching the highlight video of this that I'm gonna do, once again, thank you for watching. And that being said, I'm gonna call it here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.